So this is Baruch Fleischman. I want to show you once again the picture on the back cover of Rabbi Mimran. So if you see him on the street, you'll be able to recognize him and say thank you. So coming over here, this man has done so much for meditation, but it's like planting a seedling. It takes a while for it to grow. Here we are in Aryeh Kaplan. So Rabbi Mimran humbly brings us one of the great teachers of all times of meditation is Aryeh Kaplan. He writes in English, and these are the quotes of what he said. If you use a verse, which he said the idea of Ribono Shel Olam, are there any other verses that we could do? Like we learned the Zohar this morning, which says, Mi Ya'ala B'Har Hashem. All of that verse, there's a nice one. How could you get higher? He says, repeat the verse over and over slowly in a very soft voice. The meditative norm is that it should be said in the softest voice that you can comfortably pronounce. You can either whisper it or vocalize it very softly, whichever is more comfortable to you. Now, that's an interesting idea. Don't push. Here's especially a guy like me who's pushing all the time. There are no firm standards regarding this in Jewish meditation. Some people find it easier to whisper the mantra. So you would say, can you hear me here? Or you could say Ribono Shel Olam, Ribono Shel Olam, or Mi Ya'ala B'Har Hashem, all of that. So let's go on. So he says you can either whisper it or vocalize it softly, whichever is more comfortable to you. There are no firm standards regarding this in Jewish meditation. Some people find it easier to whisper the mantra. It is also permissible to mouth it without voicing it at all. It is not recommended, however, that it merely be thought in the mind, at least for beginners. Now, that's a very interesting idea. I think that one of the things that I got from Breslov Chassidus and reading Rabbi Nachman was the concept of the origin of where sound comes from being down below with us. So that sound is very important to it. So he says for a beginner, stay with the sound. Because maybe he's going to say that there's a higher level of meditation, but it has to go through the voice. So if the mantra is repeated mentally, without at least mouthing it, and you don't even bring it to your lips, it can be interpreted, it can be interrupted by extraneous thoughts. And he's saying that our thoughts are not, our control of our thoughts are not strong enough. Therefore, one should not place too much emphasis on how the mantra is said, as long as it is said for the designated time. This usually consists of a period between 20 minutes and a half hour, as mentioned earlier. If you wish, you may use a silent timer to signal when the meditation period is over. This is preferable to looking at a clock which takes the mind off the meditation. You can also have someone else signal you when the time is up. After a while, however, you will automatically know when the period of meditation is over. At first, you may allow the mind to wander freely while reciting the mantra. As long as you have an inner awareness that the words Ribono Shel Olam denote Master of the Universe, the words themselves will pull your thoughts in a meaningful direction because the words themselves are directed to that master, which he said before. The word Olam is the concept of hiddenness. No matter where the thoughts lead, there is no cause for concern. The Hasidic teaching says that any thought that enters the mind during meditation does so for a purpose. Now, this is interesting. It is also instructed to pay attention to the visual images you see while meditating with the eyes closed. As you become more advanced, these images become clearer and more vivid, and it becomes much easier to focus on them. Beyond that, as days pass, your control over these images improves dramatically during the meditative state. The vividness of these images can also become spectacular. So let me say that at this point, this is the 53rd Shir in Rabbi Mimran. In general, bodily motion destroys concentration during mantra meditation and should be avoided. Some people, however, report that a slight, very slow swaying, perhaps a half inch in each direction, helps ease tension during the initial stages. If you find this helpful, you may use it. Maybe that'll work for you. At first, continuing on, reading the words of the great Arya Kaplan. At first, during meditation, you may allow the mind to wander freely or concentrate on the images you see in your mind's eye. However, as you become more advanced, you should begin to allow the words of the mantra to fill the mind completely, blanking out all sensation. This involves keeping all other thoughts out of the consciousness. All of your attention should be focused on the words of the mantra, leaving no room for any other thought. Of course, until you become proficient in this discipline, extraneous thoughts will constantly try to push their way into the mind. You must then gently push them out, forcing your concentration back to the words of the mantra. This can sometimes take considerable effort, but it is the means through which one gains control of one's thoughts. Now, Rabbi Mimran had given us a technique of being able to look at our thoughts, and that our thoughts are like a third person to us, and that we use them, that they're not us. So this could be a technique to help. Some people find it easier to banish extraneous thoughts if they recite the mantra very slowly. That's interesting. As well, we shall see slowness is also used in other types of meditation. At other times, however, it may be preferable to recite the mantra rapidly, sometimes even racing through the words. Here again, each individual must find his own pace. So there he gave us an idea of saying the mantra fast or saying it slow. The idea is to say it, and you'll figure out your own rhythm. So then after the meditation is over, remain in place for approximately 5 minutes, allowing the mind to absorb the effects of the meditation. You also need some time to come back down before returning to your daily routine. Again, you may wish to hum a soft melody during this period. It should be a time of intimate closeness with the divine. You may wish to use the moments following a meditation to have a short conversation with Hashem. Here we come into his Baidides. As mentioned earlier, Rabbi Nachman saw mantra meditation primarily as a means of preparing for such a divine conversation, which he saw as a higher type of meditation. In any case, one can feel very close to God after a meditation, and because of that feeling, it is a good time to express that closeness. Whereas Eastern schools see mantra meditation as an end in itself, and this is an important idea, our meditation sources indicate it is more of a preparation for a deeper spiritual experience, which in my definition, the Baruch Fleischman definition of that, would be taking the real problems that you have had in the world, and now you're in a high level, and arranging them before Hashem so you could see who you are. Some sources state that after meditating, one should smell fragrant spices or perfumes so as to re-involve himself in the physical world. It is also prescribed that some light food be eaten shortly afterwards, since through the blessing of the food, one can elevate the entire body. Now we're going to stop right here, and that's going to be the 53rd shir for Rabbi Mimran. This is Baruch Fleischman. I am at the Tikkun Elevator Kolo. We'll send this shir out also to the Devekos network of Rabbi Mimran.